Picture this. You finish your assignment. It runs perfectly on your laptop. You submit it. A week later, it comes back marked wrong. You run it again, perfect. What happened? You might have just been lucky. Today, we're going to see why relying on luck and concurrency is dangerous, and how one method, join, is the difference between a program that sometimes works and one that is correct. In this session, first we diagnose the problem, why sleep is a broken clock. Then we prescribe the solution, how join fixes it. Finally, we examine the proof, the memory guarantees that make it reliable. Let's begin with a simple question. Thread A must finish before thread B continues. How do we enforce that? Do we wait for time to pass, or do we wait for the work to actually finish? Clocks measure time, synchronization observes state. And in concurrency, state is what matters. Sleep pauses the current thread. It doesn't look at any other thread. It doesn't check if work is done. It just waits. Join is different. It waits for another thread to finish. It observes state. Think of baking a cake. Sleep is setting a 30-minute timer and pulling the cake out when it rings, even if it's still gooey inside. Join is the baker telling you, I checked. The cake is done. One hopes, the other knows. It's time versus state. Now let's diagnose the patient. Here's what we're doing. We start a worker thread that increments a counter 1 million times. Then we guess that 10 milliseconds is enough time. Point to code. Notice this line, thread.sleep10. We are not checking anything. We are guessing. And guessing is not synchronization. This may work on your machine, but what if the CPU is busy, the garbage collector pauses, the operating system schedules differently, the code runs in the cloud? See the problem? We are solving a logical question. Is the work done? With a physical mechanism? Has time passed? Those two are completely unrelated. Here's what students actually see without join. The result might be 457-821. Why? Because the worker is still running. With join, we always get 1 million. This is not cosmetic ordering. This is correctness. It's not about pretty output, it's about being right. On sleep, just pauses the thread. It does not create any link or communication between threads. It does not guarantee that all the worker's writes are visible to the main thread. In Java, we have a formal name for this kind of visibility guarantee. It's called the happens before relationship. A happens before guarantee means everything one thread does becomes visible to another thread in a defined order. Sleep establishes 0 happens before edges. Join establishes a strong one. Now we write the prescription. Enough guessing. We start the worker. Then we call worker.join. The main thread blocks until the worker finishes. No timing, no guessing, just state-based coordination. When you call join, the calling thread blocks. The JVM checks if the target thread is alive. If alive, it enters waiting. If already finished, it returns immediately. In most Java virtual machine implementations, join uses wait and notify all internally. Even internally, it is event-driven. Look at the diagram. The green line below is the worker running. The dashed vertical line marks where join is called. Notice the gray waiting region. That's the main thread doing nothing, waiting for completion. When the worker terminates, the arrow shows the main thread resuming, not after 10 milliseconds, not after 1 second, exactly when the work is done. This is the most important part. Join does not just block, it creates a happens before guarantee, meaning all writes by the worker before termination become visible after join returns. Think of it this way. The worker has its own notebook where it's been writing results. Without join, the main thread just glances at the notebook whenever it feels like it. Maybe it sees half-written notes. Join is like the worker finishing, walking over, and handing the notebook directly to the main thread saying, here is the final answer. That is the happens before guarantee. Join 1000 waits up to 1 second, but if the second expires and the worker is still running, it returns anyway. Bounded wait is not the same as coordination. Completion guarantee disappears. Sleep leads to timed waiting. Join leads to waiting. When the worker terminates, the main thread becomes runnable again. This reinforces that join is observing thread state. We fork threads. They run in parallel. We join them. This is the classic fork join structure. You will see this pattern everywhere in parallel programming. Sleep is not evil. It's fine for back-off strategies, simulations, UI timing, testing. But never for correctness-critical coordination. Never use time to enforce logical dependency. Sleep 5000 says, I wait 5 seconds. Worker.join says, I wait for the worker. Sleep guesses. Join knows. And in engineering, we don't build bridges based on guesses. If the worker takes 10 seconds on one machine and 11 on another, does Sleep 1000 always work? No. Would Sleep 6000 fix it? Still no. Why? Because correctness cannot depend on timing luck. Let's finish with one rule. Sleep delays execution. Join coordinates completion. Join guarantees ordering. Join guarantees visibility. Sleep is not synchronization. Never coordinate threads using time. Always coordinate using state. And next, we build on this foundation to control shared memory safely using synchronization and locks. Today we saw something fundamental. Using sleep to coordinate threads is guessing. Using join is observing state. One is probabilistic. The other is deterministic. One relies on timing luck. The other relies on completion guarantees. And most importantly, join gives us something timing never can, a happens before relationship. It guarantees that when we continue, we see the final, correct state. This is the first time in this course where you moved from hoping concurrency behaves to controlling it. But now we need to ask a deeper question. What if two threads are not just waiting for each other? What if they are modifying the same data at the same time? Join helps us wait for completion, but it does not protect shared memory while threads are running. And that is where real concurrency problems begin. In the next part of this lecture, we move from coordination to protection. We'll explore critical sections, intrinsic locks, the synchronized keyword, and why race conditions happen in the first place. You've learned how to wait correctly. Now you'll learn how to protect correctly.